My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality-Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life.
Dan, there was recently an article related to retirement and considering timing of retirement. So let's start with the scenario everyone fears. Someone's ready to retire and the market drops 15 to 20% right before they quit. What typically is going through a client's mind in that moment?
You're right. It's that scenario where so many people have been taught that it's their investments, how much they have, that dictates whether or not they can retire. So all of a sudden, I've had $1 million, market goes down 20%. I have 800,000 in theory. Now you should be better diversified than that. You shouldn't be losing, the full 20%. But let's say they've lost $200,000. They look at it, they go, "Oh my goodness, do you know what I could have done with $200,000? That's a lot of trips. That's a lot of fun activities. Now, oh, I need to work longer. I need to get back to where I was." And if we focus on things outside of our control, like market movements, whatever we're seeing in our account values, for example, if I let that control me, I'm going to get whipsawed back and forth. Earlier, just in March here or in April, I guess, we had a day where the market went up 2.5% in one day. And then earlier in the prior week, it went down significantly. And so if I'm looking at that and that's dictating my decisions, I'm getting whipsawed back and forth going, "Oh, I'm up a lot. Oh, I'm down a lot." And the people who look at their account values every day, it is so difficult for them to make decisions because all of these things completely outside their control are going to like overwhelm their minds in thinking about what they actually want to do with their lives.
Yeah, we see that a lot. And there are some advisors that would suggest delaying retirement in situations where the market may not be performing well. Can you explain why that may not be the best idea?
Well, the article you're referencing actually talked about if you were retiring in what they termed essentially a poor environment, a poor market
Mhm.
environment, one of the best things you can do is delay retirement. And they talked about having a flexible retirement window, having maybe a 2 year time horizon. And I look at that and I go, I think it's completely crazy that a financial advisor would talk to a client and say, your goals and priorities take secondary, like back seat to what's happening in the world around you that you have no control over. And it implies that we know things that we simply don't know. If we feel like today is not a very good environment, and to be honest, I think a lot of people are looking at today's world with a lot of chaos. We have a war in Iran, there are all these different things happening, and they look at that chaos and they go, "I don't think right now is a very good time to do this." But that implies that 2 years from now, we know it's going to be a better time. We don't know that. We have no idea what's going to happen in 6 months or a year or 2 years. So that assumption that things are going to somehow magically improve, that is not how decisions should be made. So from our perspective, we want to talk about what you actually want to do. So if you want to retire today, you're retiring today. Now, the reality is maybe it's a challenging environment. Our job is to help you navigate that challenging environment. If there are storms out in the world, we have to help you get through those storms. And we have techniques and ways that we can keep the investment volatility minimized, or we can set aside a certain amount of money that's not in the market for a period of time so that if stocks go down significantly, which is always a possibility,
Mhm.
we have to have the ability to navigate that issue. And in many cases people view investments as like something they look at as a gambling type of thing where if I make money, now I'm going to have more and that's good. But then if I lose money, I feel bad and I'm going to have less. We just look at investments as being tools to help you accomplish goals. If we're in a tough environment, there are absolutely investment strategies and techniques we can use to get people through that time period rather than having them completely change their goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to note that we're being proactive about these types of situations instead of being reactive. And when you take that proactive approach, then the confidence that you have going into retirement will should be higher because your plan is solid and even in a bad market, your goal is the focus. Dan, last question. So, what's one mindset shift you want viewers to walk away with when thinking about retirement timing?
Well, retirement's a cash flow puzzle. It is entirely how much do I need every month in order to be able to maintain the quality of life that I want to have. It is not a how much do I have puzzle. So many people get caught up in like these generalizations of you need $3 million to be able to retire comfortably. We have lots of people who retire comfortably on less than that. So the focus is on cash flow rather than how much I have. And if you're debt free, for example, you might need significantly less monthly cash flow than somebody who still has a mortgage, car payments, lots of other debt. Those people might need several $1 million, and yet somebody else might be in great shape. So shifting the mindset from just looking at my investments as a tool of having more to looking at my investments or other resources as a mechanism for maintaining cash flow consistent with my quality of life. That is probably the biggest shift in mindset that we try to get people to do when they're thinking in terms of their own retirement.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that valuable nugget. And until next time, have a good one.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.